Don't know me, so please allow me to introduce myself. I am baby girl VIZCARRA, newborn, dad's bundle of joy. I must have overheard that kiddingly asking the doctors and nurses of Martinez Memorial Hospital to waive the delivery room fee because I literally just popped out from my mother's womb. No wonder, I must have been too excited to see my eagerly anticipating father beaming with so much joy upon gazing at his little angel and who was destined to be his única hija. I am BONG VIZCARRA, 4 years old, dad's little girl. So early in my life, I've come to realize I could dance because my slightest groove has made Dad's heart skip a bit out of admiration. I knew then that I could be a damn good dancer, and Dad's superlative praises were to be blamed for my bloated ego. Dad most probably never had a dull moment with me. Well, that's a euphemism for my being daldalera. That he practically tagged me along to everywhere he went to. From the barber shop, to town fiestas, to birthday, wedding, and baptismal parties. At a very young age, that experientially taught me how to deal with people of all ages and from all walks of life. I am BONG VIZCARRA, 7 years old, dad's princess. I've spent almost all my childhood weekends with Dad in his San Miguel offices, a total of 4 to my recollection, from Aviles to Makati to Ortigas. Dad must have noticed my fascination with the adding machine, with its kashing-shing rhythm sound, that he then would give me a long list of numerical figures and ask me to key in the numbers one by one, to double check his own computation, sans the aid of Excel. And oh, was I so proud then to have eased that workload. Of course, a few years later, I figured out he was just giving me something to keep myself busy while he buried his head in a pile of paper on his desk. So far, I've attended more Christmas parties and summer outings in San Miguel when I was then a child than now that I'm already an employee of the company. I got used to having much older men as my dance partners, courtesy of Dad's office mates, but no pair can ever out-boogie Dad and me. Dad and I were a dynamic duo. We were always together. Modesty aside, this has earned me the title of being the most popular among his children. And we could try to challenge that through a survey among Dad's relatives, friends, and office mates. Nothing extraordinary about me, mind you. I'm just the most seen among my siblings. If stage fright is not on my dreaded list, then it was definitely because of that. He would put me solo on center stage as I danced before a huge crowd of appreciative guests. He would laugh the loudest each time I impersonate interesting people. But his personal favorite was my grade 1 teacher, Mrs. Amparo. That look of adulation on his face was all I ever needed to learn how to believe in myself. I am BONG VIZCARRA, 13 years old, Dad's team sweetheart. One time, when I committed a fault against him, which motivated forgetting doesn't allow me to remember now what it was all about, I wrote him a letter which I secretly slipped into his pocket to ask for forgiveness. Whether it was out of shyness or pride that I didn't apologize to him face to face, I still don't know up to this day. Suffice it to say that I didn't have the courage to ask him if he has already forgiven me. So I just asked him to show a sign. He went home early that night with a dozen huge ripe guavas in his hand, which he lovingly gave to me as fulfillment of that sign. No lesson on humility and forgiveness could ever be greater than that. I am BONG VIZCARRA Gonzaga, 23 years old. That's little girl no more. I was crying on the eve of my church wedding because I didn't have any indication that he would walk me down the aisle. I never saw him prepare for it, meaning no new suit, no new pair of shoes, as in nothing. Before you misconstrue any controversy between Dad and my husband, Dad wasn't just yet ready to give me away in marriage, and the emotional consolation of gaining a new son wasn't just enough to make him look forward to it as a joyous event. But yes, he didn't want me to cry on my wedding day, and so stood tall beside the bride and gracefully marched with me up to the other end of the aisle and gave my hand to his new son. I am BONG Gonzaga, 24 years old. That's the throat, apple of the eye. Yes, with conviction, I can claim to be Dad's favorite until the day came to his life. But I couldn't have asked for anything more perfect than that. In fact, David was the greatest gift and source of pride and joy I've ever given Dad. He dotingly played the role of Lolo to David, and has never missed even a single event in his sweetheart's life. All of you here who have known Dad would describe him as humble and low-key. But when it comes to Levine, he broke all the rules. Before the photographer could even click the button, he would painstakingly arrange the medals hanging on his uphol's neck, carefully separating each medal, not allowing one to be on top of another, so people can see how many she's got. Let's give it to him. He deserved that yabang factor. Genuineness, authenticity, these were Dad's imprints, which I will always carry with me. I am BONG Gonzaga, 49 years old. Dad's big little girl. Yes, no one can ever outgrow the need for the love of a father. You will always be my dad and my hero. And I will forever be your little girl. But stronger and wiser because you have made me so. I will try not to miss you, but I can promise you that partida na yan. Sige, mauna ka nang mag-practice. Galingan mo. Savor every music. Master every step. Until our next boogie together in God's grand ballroom. I love you, Dad.